Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here from Niche Site Project and the YouTube channel that you're watching right now. This is an update for the aged site case study. And if you're unfamiliar with the case study, there's like 6 or 7 other videos, 7 it appears, 7 other videos where I document what I'm doing after buying a site. So I purchased a site, and the premise is this. I purchased a site from my friends over at Humanproof Designs, and then I'm outsourcing generally all of the work that needs to be done. So we're like a couple months in, and I could tell you that we hit our first $100 month in the month of August. So it was like 101. I don't have a screenshot handy, but don't worry, there'll be other videos. Now, this is obviously a more casual video. I'm just sitting here at my desk. In fact, I just grabbed a beer. Cheers. And have a beer wherever you're at, or your beverage of choice. If it's the morning or something, maybe have a coffee. But I'm not going to tell you how to live your life out there. So here's the deal. I'm going to show you some of the, I guess we have the analytics on this side, but I'm going to go through some comments as well. And I want you to leave a comment on this video for any questions that you have. I think this is a great way to get some more like community aspect and have some interaction. And I mean, honestly, these comments give me ideas for videos. And once we have 7 videos out there, and basically I have hundreds of ideas for like different questions, different angles to tackle all sorts of different aspects for this case study. So that said, you can see there are quite a few views and video or on these videos, and some are more popular than others. Some are long, some are short. And, I try and give some variety. And I think coming up soon, I'm probably going to do some videos that are in the 10-minute range. All right. So that's another story for another day. But I do test many different lengths of videos. And one of the key things that, from just a YouTube perspective, one of the key things that is so important is the amount of watch time. Not necessarily the number of views, but the amount of watch time. However, we got to do a balance here, right? So I probably can't attract someone to, watch a video that's like 4 hours long. By the way, I did publish a video just the other day that's 4 hours long, but the people that watch it, it looks like they watch a lot of it. So it doesn't take that many to get that watch time up. So that said, let's get over to the comments here. So I just kind of arbitrarily picked them, but look, you're going to get a shout out. So number 1, this is the launch of the case study, and this is Brad Vanderberg over at Humanproof Designs. So he stopped in to just say hello. And a lot of people are just pumped to have this going. So we have Shantanu Varun says, how many word of content does it have, and any links so far? So this is, right when we started the case study here. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember. I think there were like 35 posts, and let's just call it about 35,000 words, I would guess. All right. So I think I just revealed something that I didn't even look that close. All right. So I recently talked about how I selected the site on the podcast. So Doug.show, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, there's a whole other section of content that I talk about over there. So basically I talk about how I selected the site at length, but generally I just looked for how many keywords it was ranking for. All right. And one thing I want to show you is just this analytics. So you can see I got the site in around the mid-June time frame. And as soon as I got the analytics on there, boom, we have some traffic. So that's great. You can see work has been done, and it's not a huge like spike or anything like that, but it looks to be like consistent growth here. That's a good thing. That's what we're looking for, of course. And at this point in time, I'll reveal another thing. I haven't even read the content yet. not the original content, and not even the 50 articles that I ordered from Content Development Pros. All right. So I have been literally deferring like delegating everything. So when I was on vacation, I didn't answer any questions from the content team. The only thing that I did, I advised my VA, who was the point of contact for the content team, and then I don't even think she asked me any questions while I was out. She could have called me if needed, but I mean everything happened without me. All right, so scrolling down, let's see if there's any cool other questions in this first one. Okay, so Leanne, my friend Leanne here says, I'm interested in the case study to go along with the journey. Does HPD allow payment plans for age sites, or do you need to buy them in full? So I'm not 100% sure. I think that there is some mechanism for a payment plan, but please check at the time you watch this. It may or may not be applicable and that sort of thing. So double check with them. I think maybe they do have a payment plan, but I'm not really sure. Personally, I paid all in advance. I am fortunate to I had the money to pay for it. So, if you put it on a credit card, you earn some credit card points. I charge everything to a credit card. I have a crap load of credit card points. All right. And random question here from Leon. Leon says, what camera and lens did I use? Did I color grade the video? And the answer is I used a Sigma 18 to 35. Actually, I answered it here. 18 to 35 f1.8. It is a beast of a lens, and I love it. It's perfect for this sort of thing. It's heavy, so I can't really carry it around so much, but it's a great lens. It looks really awesome. I love it. All right, let's move on to another one of the videos and some of the comments. We have my man here, my friend Adrian, who is featured on the channel a couple times. So check out Adrian's videos. Adrian says this, I love this video so much, and you know what? I believe people will love it as well, Doug. All right, I'm putting in some punctuation so it's a little more readable. But Adrian says this, even though I don't have that kind of money to invest at the moment, I do plan on buying existing sites in the future for the same reason, to skip the sandbox. And one thing I believe most of us following you would be interested in a course where you could teach us how to manage the whole process of outsourcing and managing a team. And Adrian says, maybe we could persuade Doug to do it if there's an interest. Yeah, the funny thing is, Adrian, thank you so much for the comment. And it's interesting. There are ways to trim the cost. And I could probably do 3 or 4 videos where I just talk about trimming the cost of this whole exercise. But when it comes down to it, then I can just refer you to all of the other content that I've published where I talk about bootstrapping it. And I went on the other extreme at this point where I'm outsourcing everything. So it's completely the opposite. And Adrian, I think it's a great idea. I've heard people, ask about like a more advanced course, and I wasn't 100% sure about like how to frame such an offering. It's really tough to present the value on like a sales page. So it almost has to be like someone who is coming in for coaching, someone who like sees that I have skills in outsourcing, setting up systems, templates, and all that stuff, and then to coach someone through it. Again, it's really hard to package it up and like make it a product. So I haven't figured that out. And then on the other side of it, it's like I really want people to get value, and I don't want people to like buy a product that they don't actually need. And then maybe they're not going to follow through if they don't need it. And then, I mean, even if I earned money, it's not very fulfilling for me at that point. And let's take a look and see if we got any other questions here. Okay. Richard says this, I've also looked at the HPD sites You have questions about picking the site versus other sites. How did I rate the quality of the content? What did I think of the site structure? What did I think of the theme? Did you expect to make changes to it? Do I see possibilities to improve the site? Do I like the domain name? These are fantastic questions. Richard Doan hit it out of the park. I literally can do a video on every one of these questions. Thank you, man. Did you have an interest or knowledge of the niche? Were you able to get more extensive traffic info from HPD before I bought it? And you're listening to the podcast. I mean, Richard is the dream commenter here. So if you have questions out there, you're watching this video, ask it. Ask a question. I do read them all, even though I may not have a chance to reply to them all. I mean, I'll be honest, YouTube comments are bananas out there. I think a lot of these videos, especially one like this, we have pretty good comments. I mean, if you're making it through and you're actually writing things out, like Richard or Adrian or Linus here or JYH that I see there, I mean, you're in it for the long haul. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly answer some of the questions here that Richard asked. But again, I think I can like riff on a lot of these for a long time. So number one, how did you rate the quality of the content? Okay, again, full disclosure, I didn't read much. I perused it, technical term. I took a quick glance at it and I read the intro for a couple things and I was like, hey, that's good enough. So, I was all right with that. I knew that the site was ranking for, quite a few keywords. So I was like, that's pretty good. It should be fine. Like if Google is sending traffic to it, then that's pretty good. Next, what did I think of the site structure? If I remember right, I didn't think much of it, to be honest with you. I didn't think much of it knowing that I could adjust it later. And I'm actually going through an exercise right now to silo niche site project. So if you're interested in seeing like what I'm doing, go to nichesiteproject.com. Start browsing around. If you're a long time reader, thank you. But the other part is you may be able to see, my wife just tried to walk in here. You may be able to see that like things are structured very differently now. So I'm going to see what she needed. Perhaps something's burning out there. So I'll be right back. So most likely I will be readjusting sort of the site structure, but generally it doesn't matter that much. It's more about like the internal linking structure and linking to relevant posts. There weren't a ton on there, but I have like taken a look at some of the newer content that I've published because I published like 50 posts while I was gone, and I am making sure everything's linked up. All right, so that's part of the exercise of publishing the content. Richard then asks, what did I think of the theme? I fucking hate it. I hate the theme. I wish it was something different. And did I expect to make changes to it? I knew that Humanproof Designs uses Thrive themes, and I've had issues with Thrive. Support's bad. And I think my statement earlier explains it all. So I will leave it at that. I probably won't change themes because, or at least at this point in time, I probably won't change themes. I may do it in the future just to a simpler theme. The fact is, like, Thrive has a full stack of technology that if someone is going to use all that stuff, then sure, it makes sense. But from my perspective, it's a piece of shit. All right. So I'll just be straight with you on that. Other people love it and they talk about how great Thrive is. And I would double check those folks and I would guess they're affiliates and they make money from people buying Thrive. All right. So moving on. Did you see possibilities to improve the site in any way? Yeah. Getting rid of Thrive, especially the architect stuff. I mean, I just think those kind of sites look crappy. And it's partially because I've seen so many, I mean, I'll just again be honest here. I've seen so many done for you sites out there that they look like cookie cutter. And I don't think that the formatting of like the Thrive architect, like all the stuff that we were told is important is not important, and I don't like the way it looks. But it wasn't really taking anything away from the site. And I'm talking about like the formatting boxes and the little check marks for the pros and the little red X's for the cons. Those little things, in my opinion, they don't matter. I know other people will argue the opposite way, but from where I sit, it's better to get like traffic that wants to buy something, and then you won't have to I mean, let's face it, you're not going to convince someone to buy something because you have a green check mark or there's a pretty box with a shadow around it. It's not going to make a difference, and it's hard to use. That's the big thing. Like if you want to edit anything, Thrive Architect is it's just no good. All right. Did I like the domain name? I didn't care about the domain name. It seemed fine. It was good enough. It was brandable to expand. Oh, and to go back, did I see possibilities to improve the site? Like visually, sure, all that stuff. I think I can improve it, but like the site was generally targeting just a handful of products, not too many. However, the domain was branded in a broad way, which that's what I prefer. So I'll be able to add a lot more products and expand however I want, which is great. Next, did I have an interest or knowledge of the niche? No. Interest level is like low to medium, so not really. Next, where was I able to get more extensive traffic information before I bought it? The answer is no for this particular site. To my knowledge, I didn't even ask about the traffic. I knew it was ranking for certain keywords, so I knew that traffic was probably going there. I believe HPD has a greater offering at this point. They have sites that are making money, so obviously they're getting traffic. So I believe you may be able to get some information like that, but I haven't caught up with Brian, Brad, or the crew over at HPD lately. So I just got back from vacation and everything and kind of catching up with stuff. So, all right, let's see if there's any more quick questions here. Okay, Justin Mills says this. All right, I guess it's a two-parter. His question is, when will the next Q&A be? All right, so I don't know. I do them kind of randomly. I used to do them more often, but then, I got stuff to do. So the question is, and this is random, or at least not related to this. So Justin says, all my keywords are keyword golden ratio, but I'm confused. You've been doing 1,500 to 2,000 words per article, 1.5 to 2x the content of the competitors. But the question is, do I take advantage of the word count? Do I take an average of the word count of the top 10 and match it? Because I don't want to work harder than I have to, and doing more could backfire, killing rankings. Okay. And then they say, don't reinvent the wheel. Google is an algorithm after all. Yes, it is an algorithm. Don't reinvent the wheel. And I would say stick with your approach. That seems fine. I would potentially do maybe like 1,200 to 1,500 words just to do a little bit less and then see what happens. All right. It's generally what I do is publish in that range. And then when something takes off, then I'll go back and optimize that post. You do mention, I don't want to work harder than I have to. So I'll suggest that you change your attitude. You're probably going to have to work 10 times harder than you think. All right. So you don't want to work harder than you have to, but don't try and do the minimum. There was a great movie called Office Space, and I forget the name of the gal that Jennifer Aniston was playing. Shoot, I can't remember. The classic movie Office Space. But anyway, she just put the minimum number of pieces of flair. I didn't know how to phrase that. She just put like 15 pieces of flair, and well, that's just the minimum. And you don't want to just get by, right? You don't want to do the minimum. You want to do more than that. And I understand what you're getting at. The point really is, yeah, you could probably just do like 1,000 1,200 words, see what happens, move on. But it's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong way. You could take the average of the top 10 and aim for that, aim for 15% longer. That would be appropriate. You're going, 50% to 200% longer, right? It sounds like, if I'm doing the math right. I mean, you're making it much longer than the average, right? So potentially you could do less and then add to it later once you have some evidence that you're moving in the right direction. Don't forget, everyone, I have to go and, have some dinner, but leave a comment. If you have a question about this case study, leave a comment. And the one last thing I'll add is I do have a video where I'm talking about the spreadsheet, the expenses, and all that stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully it'll be helpful for folks, but I mean, generally it's fairly straightforward. So it's like spending money here, making money here. Mostly at this point, we're just spending money. All right. So have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.